Eve Tessmacher. I think she looks absolutely gorgeous.
The most powerful being on planet Earth.
He blows a dog away. I am blown away, Mr. James Gunn. Coming up on today's show, ladies and gentlemen, Superman's James Gunn, as presented by Nicholas Hoult, playing James Gunn on the not-so-Jimmy Kimmel show.
I just love the script that James wrote. It's such a fresh new take on this character. And seeing what David did on set, and then seeing it on screen, he's such... Close your ears again.
And if you end up enjoying this video today, folks, make sure to consider giving it a like, sharing this video, and most of all, have a look at your YouTube homepage to see if my pretty face adorns your recommendations.
I'm no Superman.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls...
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Yeah, you see, you thought I was lying, Mr. Beautiful hairline himself and a beautiful beard to go along with it. Diego Luna standing in for Jimmy Kimmel, which I think is a rather good decision. Make him a full-time interviewer. He's really good. Anyway, look, this is amazing. David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult are both auditioning for Superman and working with director James Gunn, because of course every time now in this marketing campaign for Warner Brothers and Discovery's Superman to be released on the 11th of July, I've got my IMAX ticket already. I cannot wait to go and watch it in the morning, which is funny, it's the 11th of July at 11 in the morning. I like that sympathetic poetry right there. It's lovely. But anyway, 16,000 upvotes, only 163 downvotes. So let's have a look at that. I tell you what, the opening of this interview is actually very cool. We're not going to watch all of that. I'm more interested in the clip they're about to show. The first guests with breasts. Oh, well, you know who they are, but honestly, I'm really excited about the clip they're going to open up the show with. It's bombastic, it's exciting, just like yours truly.
Star as a couple of guys named Clark and Lex in one of this summer's biggest movies, James Gunn's Superman.
No, it's Superman's James Gunn.
Lex, I tried to stop him.
It's fine, Heather. Superman, we finally meet. Would you like a coffee?
Where's the dog?
Dog?
The dog, loser! You took the dog!
That's right.
I mean, listen, I must be the only guy online that when he reacts to a superhero movie, if there's a super babe in it, I'm going to say something about her. This is Eve Tessmacher, as played by Sarah Sampaio from Portugal. I'll show you what she looks like in a minute because she's far removed than what they have here. Look, she's no Valerie Perrine because she's the absolute GOAT as Tessmacher, but I do like this modern rendition. But Mr. Luther, I tried to stop Superman with my titties, but he just brushed past me. Oh my God, Superman's gay. And best of all, you blathering buffoons, Sarah Sampaio used to be a Victoria's Secret model and won a competition. Oh my God, James Gunn, you know how to pick 'em. You really do.
When I heard that I was gonna be an angel, it was funny because my agent called me and was like, "Have you heard?"
Thank you for having me again.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hopefully, this is you.
Yeah?
See.
Okay. Would you mind walking for us,
Yes.
please?
Oh yes, please walk.
I'll make sure my
walk
body
to the
was on
front
point.
very
I
slowly.
worked on my walk. I left all my insecurities at the door.
And I'm certainly
And I
glad, and they
literally
can
just
stay
went
behind
for it.
that door for all I care.
I can tell.
I have to.
Yeah, you have been.
And I think it went well because I got the show that year.
Oh my God. Oh.
Why do you get all of this?
Where's the dog?
You know what that reminds me of? Michael Shannon. I will find him. I mean, look, this is Crypto being abducted by Lex Luthor. That's what we have to assume. And I'm not kidding. When James Gunn knew he was going to be taking over the DCEU, he went out to a rescue dog shelter wherever he lives, found the specific dog, and he knew at that moment in time, oh, you're going to be in a future Superman movie as Crypto. Crypto, the super dog, I think is going to be a very divisive element in this film. Personally, I'm not wild about him. I prefer Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, also directed by James Gunn. And that was a Guardians film that didn't promote itself as a Guardians film with James Gunn. But your dog is so goddamn ugly, you should have left him behind and picked a more comic book accurate version of Crypto. But I digress, folks. Let's carry on.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
He's just a dog.
I don't know what dog you're talking about. Ugly dog in a cape.
I gotta say, Nicholas Hoult has truly nailed Lex Luthor. He's a great actor, so just to see him playing with that such a menace and just a cool, calm aloofness is so good, and he's got the gorgeous blue eyes that only Nicholas Hoult can possess.
Superman opens in theaters July 11th. Please welcome David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah! Come on! Yeah. The green socks matching the green part of the jumper? Really, Nicholas? I'm pretty sure that James Gunn was speaking to Nick on the phone. He said, listen, dude, let's just do this as a bit of a publicity stunt. I mean, he's kind of got the semi-spiky hair. David Corenswet just looks like an absolute god. It's going to be really... I can't wait to watch this interview. I didn't actually know this was a interview that was out a couple of days ago. I'm not subscribed to Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube channel, so definitely now I will be doing that for future reference. But holy shit, man, that's got me all geared up. But enough of me pouting at super pouty babes, because I want to take you to this item here, which is, well, I thought I'd preface this before I get to the next part of my video. This is Rolling Stone magazine. Rolling Stone we don't think of as Mick Jagger or Keith Richards or anybody else, Bill Wyman. No, it's a music magazine that also incorporated film reviews into its sphere. And I don't take it seriously as a film review mag anymore, let alone one that actually promotes James Gunn, who says the following: you don't want everyone to root for you. Of course, well, to be honest, in this era of film directors, you do actually get that particular stance, right? Because in the old school days, Steven Spielberg, Francis Ford Coppola, Brian De Palma, just to name but a few, Oliver Stone, they might not have had people rooting for them, but it was never made public as far as I know. There might have been infighting for sure, but now it's James Gunn coming out there saying this. DC Studios co-CEO goes deep on his high-stakes take on the Man of Steel, the future of his new DC universe, and how getting fired helped him feel loved. Now, obviously they're talking about him getting dismissed from Marvel, but having to go back to Marvel to direct the final chapter for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because none of the actors and crew would actually go ahead and make that film without him, because it's got his DNA all over it. It's not hard to find James Gunn's office at the Warner Brothers lot. It's huge. It's a glowing Superman S symbol. It beckons from the entrance wall as opposed to the rear entrance, visible through a glass door from yards away. Gunn is 58. Holy shit. I knew the dude was old. I didn't know he was that old. But here is the pretentious picture that you're about to see, folks. So we've got that one, black and white. I mean, he's trying to echo a bygone era of movies when you'd have black and white, highly professionally graded photo shoots in a really cool studio somewhere. But that's the one that set a lot of people off. A lot of content creators were getting mad about this image. James Gunn, do you get it? Because he's doing the finger gun pose and he's called James Gunn. It's so ridiculous. I don't know if he's sending himself up here in this, and if he is, well, I get the joke, but does anybody else? Because a normie might think this guy is narcissistic. There's probably an element of that in there for sure. Look, he's got his wife Jennifer Holland, who he puts in everything I would not be surprised if she's the female voice of the automaton that we see at the Fortress of Solitude, right? It wouldn't surprise me at all at that stage. And they did cover like his early career, Romeo and Juliet, how he went to writing for Scooby-Doo to Dawn of the Dead, which was with Zack Snyder, by the way. Zack Snyder's major film debut, 2004. I love Dawn of the Dead. It's such a great movie. I actually think it's better than the George A. Romero from 1978. But I would have to watch them both side by side again, but I honestly do lean towards Zack Snyder's vision and version of it. And now, by the way, Supergirl is not going to be called the Woman of Tomorrow. It's just going to be Supergirl, which makes a lot of sense. Why would you confuse, or why would you think you're confusing people with the Helen Slater, Peter O'Toole classic from 1984? People of a certain age now won't remember that film back then because they weren't around then, were they? So again, James Gunn it's almost like, you know, when I see this image here of James, just going back to the top right here, it's almost like he's in therapy, and I think that's pretty much what it's going to be. If Superman doesn't do big business upon its release and afterwards, it all depends, right, what the domestic opening is, internationally what it does. I mean, I was at Cineworld yesterday to watch F1 again, and I saw this in the foyer, and I had to take a picture of it. So the next time I go there, I'll probably get someone to take a picture of me next to David Corenswet.
The most powerful being on planet...
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
You know what? I've been saying this for months. Why does this kaiju design look so goofy from James Gunn? Why is it not even a finished special effect? Because this is a Japanese trailer. A lot of Japanese pop culture has these type of monster designs. So finally, I get it. So James Gunn, everybody else, all is forgiven. The problem is Western audiences might not be so forgiving because, like me, they'll just give a knee-jerk reaction and say, why does this thing look so goofy in its execution? But never fear, because Japan is here. Now, courtesy of Aporov Rastogi from superherohype.com, Superman's early reactions claim it's the complete opposite for Henry Cavill in Man of Steel, a film that I do love a lot. It's got its problems for sure, but I think the reason why people actually, do you know what? I'm going to save that bit for last because it's worth talking about very briefly. With Superman's James Gunn nearing its theatrical release date, early reactions to the first and maybe rare entry in the new DCU have leaked onto the internet. Following a recently conducted strip search screening, some of the reviews have compared Gunn's take on the title character to Zack Snyder's Man of Steel in 2013, noting a sharp contrast between the two directors' visions, which is kind of like a pointless thing to even highlight because we know that's going to be the case. The new Superman film has received its first reviews. They're not reviews, they're reactions. That's the difference. The embargo, I think, lifts next week or the week after. So reactions are poured in after an early screening of the film took place, comprised mostly of critics and influencers. So I think Charlie from Emergency Awesome might be one of those people that was secretly invited. He'll probably say something on his channel near to the effect of, one X user praised the new Superman film after catching the first 30 minutes of it, stating, needless to say, it was damn beautiful. Time absolutely, wait for it, because remember, he's got a cape. Time flew by. So that's that dude right there. I don't know who he is, and people, oh, so is this a screening? Look up Manila. Oh, so this was, oh, don't forget these people, the cast and crew of Superman are doing a world tour at the moment, aren't they? So it's going to be one of those things where they've poured in the rest of that money, that marketing money from WB into flying our intrepid heroes and heroines around the world. Another person compared James Gunn's Superman to Zack Snyder's. People are forgetting here, this is a bit of a misguided article, because if people are comparing it to Zack Snyder, you should be comparing it to Richard Donner's 1978 Superman. Oh, I beg your pardon, to James Gunn's Richard Donner film, Homage. No, sorry, beg your pardon, James Gunn's Richard Donner homage in this film, because that's exactly what he's done. The trailer itself will tell you this is more akin to Richard Donner than it is to Zack Snyder. So it's 180 degrees away from Man of Steel. Are you effing kidding me? Detailing the experience of his friend who witnessed the screening of the film, the ex-user wrote, he said the trailers have been a bit of a misdirect, but the most important thing was he really liked it. Meanwhile, an early reaction to Superman drew parallels between the movie and the fan favorite Superman, the animated series. It's very Silver Age, it's got a lot of those sci-fi tropes, it's big in spectacle, in drama and laughs, big in its heart. It's a very earnest film. And we're going to leave it right here, folks, because I want to take you back to my favorite starting point right here before my phone goes off at 12 noon, don't you know, from Dubai. And I'll say this much, this film has got a lot to live up to, not just to the legacy of Richard Donner, because look, if you were around in 1978 like I was, you would have been fascinated by that poster.
And I had to make a man fly. And if you convinced the audience a man could fly, it would be tough enough.
That really captivated people's imaginations. And when you finally saw the film, you really could believe a man can actually fly. Christopher Reeve is my favorite Superman. Henry Cavill's a second. Until I see David Corran sweat, that might entirely change. I don't know. But I do agree with Robert Meyer Burnett, who said, why you should be excited about this film, because it's a brand new take on Superman. It's not trying to be another version of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel from 2013. That was its own film. A lot of it worked, some of it didn't work. I get it, and that's fine. Richard Donner's Superman from 1978, and shall we say 1980, I believe, right? Because he did direct most of the sequel, which was later taken over by Richard Lester. So I will say this much. I want this film to do well, but I mean, again, the amount of marketing costs that's just going into promoting this film right now as we speak. And I hope to hear that domestically, it's gone over 170 million, which would be a good indicator, but we know that good indicators means there could be a massive drop-off in the second week of release. But you got the charm of David Corran Sweat, the beauty of Rachel Brosnahan, and Sarah Sampaio's Eve Tessmacher, who can latch on to me anytime she wants to. But fuck Crypto the Superdog, because that character alone, that non-entity, might spoil or might give me a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth about this whole film. I'm going to predict now my score for Superman will be an 8 out of 10. If it's less than that, it has to be something fundamentally wrong with it. Now, John Campea a few days ago stated that a female friend of his who saw the entire film did not like it. She said it was convoluted, didn't make a lot of sense, and this is a person who's not a die-hard anti-DC or Marvel fan, but that's just one person's perspective, okay? And some people will come out thinking, well, who the hell is Green Lantern? Who's Mr. Terrific? Who's Ultraman? Who's the Engineer? Right, who's Rick Flag Sr.? They might not know any of these characters. I know who these characters are, but other people won't. So it's gonna, a differing of opinion will actually cause people to go one side, and other people who are fanatical and love pop culture will stay right down the lane, or the lowest lane. Oh my God, I did not even write that part, folks, but I had to leave it in this video. But if you ended up enjoying this video today, make sure you give it a like, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you catching me, pop pickers, for the return of my next video.
Where do you get all of this?
I will find him!
Because of the wisdom and compassion of Jor-El, because he knew the human race had the capacity for goodness, he sent us his only son.